Hello guys, Ian Michael Connect Cinematics here. Today we'll be looking into the types of concealed carries, or the more unorthodox ways that within movies and TV shows, characters carry their weapons or obscure or hide their weapons in the variety of different ways. Now, this could be conventional ways that you see in real life, whether it's like kept in a pocket, kept in a breast coat, tucked in the side, the backside, so on and so forth. But we'll also be looking at more theatrical ways that movies and TV shows portrays characters hiding these weapons, and discussing whether or not some of these are feasible and if they'd be useful in that way of concealment. So without further ado, let's get into it. So when it comes to me discussing about concealed carry for movie and TV shows, I am not going to be really looking at concealed carry in the sense of it being holstered properly. I'm looking at more the unconventional ways, because the more conventional way would be that you'd be holding it in a underarm holster, like some cops show on TV shows. Regular holsters is by your side, or even like some backside holsters when it's actually in a concealed holster. What I'm looking at more so is things that don't necessarily have an official status in carry, because it's unorthodox, or it's just like a MacGyvered way of carrying it. So the very first basic one that I would show, as you can see with my baggy coat, is that it'd be carried in a pocket. Because with a concealed pistol, you can see that when I put it in my pocket, it's kind of harder to tell when you're carrying something like that within a movie or a TV show. Because if you were to wear something more tight fitting, like yoga pants, or like a tracksuit that's really firm fitting, you'll see something protruding or bulging out of your coat or your pants pocket. And that's going to defeat the purpose of you even trying to conceal it in the first place. So more of the times that you see somebody like that concealing something, they're going to be wearing baggy sweatshirts, a larger coat, or something that's going to not be uniform to their body, so it gives them more room to hide it. Now, the example that I'd use for this, with a little bit of an added caveat, is from the movie El Camino, the Breaking Bad movie with Aaron Paul, who plays Jesse Pinkman. Now, there is a scene in there when he's having he's going to have a quick draw with another patron. And what happens is that he does have it in his pocket, but the difference that he does in this scene is that instead of him drawing out and firing it, what he does instead is that he just simply pretends that he has a pistol on his left or his right side, whichever side is dominant. And then he had his other hand in his pocket. So when he's waiting to quick draw, he just points his gun and he fires through his pocket. Now, this can work, but it kind of depends on the type of pistol or firearm that you use. Because if you use anything like a conventional pistol that has a slide back locking, like a conventional pistol, more than likely it's going to snag on the cloth or the pocket cloth and jam. I believe the one that Jesse uses is actually a hammerless revolver, so it reduces the chance of it snagging on cloth. So that's why he's able to fire 5 consecutive shots. So if you're wondering why you're looking at a pair of feet, is because with this next concealed carry, we're going to be talking about ankle guns. Now, ankle guns have been predominant in concealed carry, and anything from like spyware or to secondaries that some police officers, special agents, or even military members would carry on the off chance that they lose their primary, secondary. This would be their tertiary or their third option on the off chance they lose any other weapon, or they want to conceal it from an enemy so they think they're disarmed and then pull it at the right time. Now, as you see, I'm wearing baggy enough pants so you can't really see which leg I have this in. But the one thing that might give it away is that for the most part, people are predominantly right-handed, and so it'll be on my right side of the leg. So, bending down, you can see, as I reveal, that the pistol is stuffed in a sock. It could be a sock, a tension wrap, tape, or a specified ankle holster, depending on the type of weapon that you carry. The more likely than not, it'll be something small like a 22 caliber or a long 25 ACP or a 380 like this one is modeled after. So for your movie scenes and such, that'd be conventional for you to use to show how a character gets their weapon into a restricted zone per se, or something of that matter. So the next type of concealed carry that I've come across in some movies have been mainly in use with long coats or trench coats. Now, the main scene I'll be bringing up is from the movie Good, the Bad, and the Ugly with Clint Eastwood and Eli Wallach. In this one peculiar scene that I chosen, Blondie is going to take Tuco for his reward, but three gunmen are there to stop him. Now, he has his hand in his pockets like I am now, and so they are disarmed, or they don't really think that he's going to have time to quick draw on him. But as you see in this clip, he's able to shoot through his trench coat because there's no actual pocket in his trench coat or long coat. So with my trench coat that I have here, I'd be doing the same thing of this, like having it there. And then if somebody tries to draw a gun, I just point it up like that, and you can see I have it ready to go through the pocket. Now, again, I wouldn't recommend this as a way of like concealed carrying, because with your hands in your pockets, you are gripping your gun the entire time. So if you had to get your hand out to do something else, you're either going to have to quickly shove it through a belt loop and not make it look conspicuous. But you can see me trying to stuff something in my coat makes it look very awkward. But then it's just mainly for you to use when you're walking around or when you're confronting somebody with the intent of using it within a movie or TV show scene. Another quick little demonstration for unorthodox carry would be that of it being simply tucked into your belt loop somewhere. So, as you see again, you can't really see anything protruding from me because I'm wearing something that's baggy. But if I unzip my coat, you'll see I have a concealed carry that's simply tucked into the front of my belt loop. And then if you're able to see this from my backside, I have a pistol that's stuffed in the backside of my pocket. Now, this is just to show that in a lot of movies and TV shows, and there's countless examples out there that you guys probably have seen. Most predominantly, I've seen that in The Walking Dead a lot of the times with people commandeering pistols and small revolvers and then just stuff it in a belt loop just as a way of holstering their weapon. But that is like the most common, I would say, of the unconventional carries of a concealed carry pistol. Now, probably one of the most famous examples that you've seen of a concealed carry or something of a hidden gun is the gun that is hidden in a sleeve. Now, I've seen this mostly when I grew up watching Django Unchained, and you'll see a couple of clips from that as well. Also, the movie Silverado had it, and then more infamously back in the 1970s, which I do believe Tarantino had some significant influence for Martin Scorsese in this, is the movie Taxi Driver, where Travis Bickle, the character, made his own little contraption to make it that he can pop out a pistol from his sleeve into his hand in a very short notice. But besides talking about how aesthetically cool it is, I also want to talk about the feasibility of that. Like, again, there's the movie magic aspect of this, but also how complicated it would be for that to be actually administered in real life. For you to actually properly do that, you would have to have the contraption not snag on anything within your sleeve at all for it to work. And for the most part, it'd be too fragile or unstable for it to probably work properly. And at the same time, when it comes out of your palm, like you see with Christoph Waltz character or Travis Bickle, the likely case of it actually landing exactly in the palm of your hands might completely fall to random chance that it might be slightly off, and then you're not going to get a proper grip on it. The more realistic way that this would happen for a hidden sleeve gun, it's like I have it right now, that you can kind of see now because it is a bulkier gun, but if I had something small like a Derringer, which is the most commonly used gun gun that's used for these hidden sleeve contraptions, or a 25 ACP or a 22, is that it is going to be tied into the sleeve. Now, right now, I just have it simply stuffed into my sleeve, but if I wanted to like get it out quickly, I just have to bring it out, unbutton the sleeve, and then I have it in my hand. The other way of doing that is to have yourself or somebody else placing it there and either tying it down with shoestring, any sort of rope of some sort, or taping it down. And then you would have to like manually take it out with your other hand and then, fire it. Again, for the most part, when it comes to movies like Django Unchained and all the other sorts that show these hidden gun contraptions, kind of similar to like the hidden blade in Assassin's Creed, you're going to have a rougher time with trying to properly use that in any real life setting. But of course, when it comes to the movie and TV magic, it is a cool aesthetic to have. But if you're trying to go for that more realistic approach to it, you're more than likely going to have it tied to an arm, or even in movies like Back to the Future 3, the character of Biff's ancestor actually has it tied up to the top of his hat. So when he brings it down, he brings out a single shot Derringer. Now, that was actually a common historical way of some gentlemen carrying their Derringers, was that it was taped to the top of their top hat so that they can bring it down, take it out, and then defend themselves. Or, if somebody dishonored their family or something, they just shoot them in the face or something like that. Besides those type of carries, most of the time it's just, again, carried in a pocket, like I talked about before. But all in all, I find the hidden sleeve gun to be a very cool aesthetic, but not technically or feasibly realistic in using that in real life. Now, last but not least, when it comes to the concealed carries that you see in movies, these ones are the more unique of the ones that I've seen in film and television, has been when they take a gun and they conceal it in any other container or object that is not gun-like. For example, the most realistic historical use of these has been when they put a HK MP5 into a suitcase, and they call it the Suitcase Gun. This was mostly used by special agents by the CIA, and for the most part, when somebody who is a liaison is carrying the suitcase, and whether it's a terrorist or another agent that is after them and are being fired upon, they can take the suitcase and fire upon them. Now, doesn't make reloading or getting the gun out of the suitcase easy, but it is a way of them getting the drop on somebody that is trying to take advantage of them. Now, the more poignant scene that I remember from a gun that's been concealed in something is from an underrated movie called The Last Boy Scout. The Last Boy Scout, that stars Bruce Willis, has him in a scene when a little girl brings him a little cat puppet, and he asks him to make the cat talk. So when he's handed this puppet, he has his little fun with it, his little comedy routine, but it turns out, because they were surrounded by bad guys at the time, that the little girl was smart enough to put a gun in the puppet so that when Bruce Willis had caught them off guard making the thing talk and ha ha ha, he just fires point blank in their face. Another example of this as well would be in Terminator 2, when you see Arnold carrying the box of roses, and in the hallway scene, you see that instead of it being only full of roses, and in fact has a shotgun in it as well. And I have a couple of examples here too that can be shown as well. But I think these ones are always the most unique ones that you can see in films too. It can be held in a guitar case, it can be a suitcase, it can be held even in cars, things like James Bond's vehicle, has built-in miniguns and such. So that could be an example of a very large concealed carry. But all in all, I think like with this last type of concealed carry, those ones have always been the most interesting to me, just because it is finding something that is conventionally different than being carried hidden on the body, and instead is being carried out in the open. So, the best kind of way to conceal something is to openly carry it. That way, nobody's none the wiser. It's kind of like almost like a reverse psychology in a sense of making you look less suspicious. If you're carrying a box of donuts, nobody's going to think there's going to be a big ass gun in there. But lo and behold, you're in a shootout scene, and then the guy drops a box, and out comes the gun. But all in all, I find these type of concealed carries to be the most entertaining when it comes to movies and TV shows. And also, there is some actual like real life uses for some of these contraptions too. Like I mentioned before, with the suitcase gun, or even things like the fountain pen gun. The fountain pen gun is something that could fire anything from a small round, like a 22 LR round, all the way up to a 38 special. And I believe the one time I've seen that being used in a film, and there's going to be multiple ones too, is from the movie U.S. Marshals, which is the unofficial sequel to The Fugitive. A Chinese character is trying to assassinate Wesley Snipes' character with a fountain pen gun that was hidden for him to assassinate Wesley Snipes. And there you have it. That's my video on all these different types of concealed carries that you see in movies and television. And I'm sure I definitely missed a couple that are out there that I did not go over. So if you guys like to comment about the types that are out there that I've missed upon, then I'm happy to read up about it, because I love to learn more about them. And if you guys would like to keep on hearing more about these different types of videos that I do, it's mostly going to be either, as I've been doing right now, gun breakdowns within film and television, but I am planning to do more historical and film history videos on breakdown on certain actors and films and TV shows, and anything that catches my interest when it comes to the film industry. So if you guys would like to hear more, and I'm sure to get better and better with my speaking and such, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care for now.